What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Watch Us Thrive podcast. This is your girl, Leanne. We are coming back with a bang in this new season. Y'all already heard the episode where I spilled all the tea as to why I took a year off. Yeah, bitch, a whole year, 365 days. But we're back. We're better than ever. We're feeling good. We're looking great. And we have some amazing guests that I've literally been manifesting getting on the show. And I'm so excited to have our first guest of this new season, Jen, the Spiritual Baddie. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. But today's conversation, I could not think of a more perfect person to have this conversation because of the expertise, the knowledge that this woman carries when it comes to astrology and predictions and all of the good things that I'm into. So none other than Jen, the Spiritual Baddie. Please introduce yourself to Watch Us Thrive.
So I'm Jennifer. I go by Jen, the Spiritual Baddie. I'm a multidimensional spiritual healer, spiritual life coach. My central focus is about, I'm going to have to take this off, is about deep self-love and self-awareness. I'm not sure what else you asked, Leanne, because it did get cut off for me.
I didn't ask anything. I was just introducing you. So I want to start this conversation off because, like I said, we're going to talk all about the predictions for the astrological year of 2026. And before we get started, I know that a lot of people associated 2025 as the year of the snake, which was all about shedding. Oh my God, the dark night of the souls, girl. I was almost taken out by 2025. But there is a shift in the overall theme and energy of 2026. So explain a little bit about what we dealt with and what we're dealing with right now.
Absolutely. So 2025 was death and rebirth. It literally was the old versions, old patterns, old stories dying. And I think that what was happening for a lot of people is that we didn't understand that that's what it was. It's like, oh, that part of me had to die, but I'm so comfortable with her. She's a part of me. No, that bitch had to go and you needed to be reborn again. And in order to enter that energy of rebirth, you have to shed. Literally, you have to come out of that shell that you thought was protecting you, that version of you that you thought meant something. And literally, we're at the tail end of the snake right now. So right now is let me tell you, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Okay, because now you're taking off that tail end of you. That is the part you're holding on to the most. Now, 2026 is the year one. It's a horse year, that fire horse energy. So it's about movement. It's about going forward. It's about courage. But you can't get there until you release the old. So that's why I say we're still at that tail end because 2026 is coming fast and you got to be ready.
I love that you brought that up because I feel like a lot of people who follow the Gregorian calendar year, like they think January 1st, 2026, I'm new page, new book. We're out here thriving and doing all the things. And it's like, bitch, if you think about it in the season, we are in the fucking like death of winter. Like, if you think about the animals, they're in hibernation mode. They're literally sleeping. They're literally going through their own cocoon metamorphosis because energetically, when it comes to astrology, the beginning of the astrological season is when?
I like to say April 1st, but we're talking that window of March 21st into the beginning of April. That's the beginning of the new astrological, new energetic year. Obviously, that horse year is in the Chinese calendar. So that's coming in mid-February, but it's not going to start to show itself until March.
Yes. And if you think like that's the beginning of spring, that's when all things start to bloom and the coldness and the darkness of winter is starting to dissipate. The days are getting longer, the nights are getting shorter. And that's really when I like to recognize like, okay, now it's go time. Now it's time for me to turn up the volume. Right now, we're still in preparation mode. And especially when it comes to love, girl. Oh God, 2025 was so ghetto for me when it comes to love. So I would love for you, let's start off with the overall theme for each sign. when it comes to love and relationships in 2026? And you start with whatever sign you want to start with.
I'm going to go into every sign, but I want to talk about these transits that are coming because they're important. Okay. So Neptune is going to go into Aries. We're talking about the planet of illusion. All right. And so it's going to teach you that love has to be bold. Aries is bold and it has to be brave. And so once we get into that energy, you're no longer going to be escaping this. You're going to be choosing rather than waiting to be chosen. That is a big theme. Okay. Saturn in Aries, which is coming as well, is about structure and discipline. It is about commitment. Okay, that another big theme for us. When we talk about Pluto and Aquarius, we're going to be in that energy for 20 years. Okay, so we're talking about redefining partnerships, right? And actually figuring out what makes sense energetically in alignment. Okay, so this is about merging into relationships that are built on surrender rather than fear of like abandonment. That's the best way for me to describe that. Uranus is going into Gemini, which is about communication, radical honesty, not only being honest with your partners and your friends and the people around you, but being honest with yourself. And that is a big theme for everyone this year. Jupiter moving into Leo is a big theme too, because Jupiter is the planet of expansion and optimism and purpose. And Leo is a big sun energy. So that's going to be a big theme. It's going to bring in lots of luck, lots of opportunity, not just around love, but around everything that's going on in your life. And then obviously we're going to have some Mercury retrogrades, okay? But these retrogrades are less about miscommunication and more about shifting your focus on what you need to heal, okay? Because these retrogrades are going to be in water signs. And water signs are about, I'm sorry.
I love me a Cancer. I know she's a Cancer baddie
Cancer.
over here, but god damn the emotions.
Listen, and you know what? We get a bad rep. Cancers get a bad rep because we're emotional. It's not about that. It just means that we feel on a deeper level. The other signs just have trouble feeling at that level. But water signs are beautiful because they're flowy. We can manage any temperature. We can be in the cold, we can be in the hot, and like that fixed water energy is ice. That's that Scorpio energy. We can do anything. Water can do anything.
Listen, I love me a Scorpio. Ooh, I love me a Scorpio.
Of course you do. All right, so let's get into the themes, okay? I'm going to start with Aries, and then I'm going to work to the last sign. So Aries, your love theme is self-led love, mature desire, okay? Remember when I said before, we're going to stop waiting to be chosen, and we're going to start choosing. That is the energy. So your relationships are going to thrive in anchoring in your own identity. So it's going to again be soul led, and you should be focused on your boundaries, your confidence, and your intentional commitment. So a lot of times we make commitments because we think that that's what the other person wants. The theme for Aries is like, no, your commitments are going to be based off of what you want, not what anybody else wants. The next one is Taurus, and we're redefining safety and stability.
I have a question real quick before you continue. Is this for sun, moon, rising, or?
Absolutely. It's always going to be sun, moon, and rising, everything that I talk about, because we are all three. We are not just one. And then I'll get into that after. So don't forget to ask. So Taurus is a very earthy sign. Taurus needs to feel safe and stable. Okay. And so this year is about redefining what your safety and stability means to you. And so old relationship patterns are no longer going to work. They weren't working in 2025. They're not going to work in 2026. It's time for you to step out of your comfort zone and dissolve all the things that you're just that's keeping you stagnant. You're so comfortable there, right? It's time to just kind of let it go. And know that love grows when you are not really resisting it, but that you're adaptable to changing it. in the way that it works for you. Your focus, Taurus, is going to be emotional safety. So you're going to work on that internally. Flexibility, being adaptable to what's going on around you, being able to say, you know what, I used to think that way. Let me try your way, or let me see if your way works for me. And so that brings up also focusing on shared values. You don't have to always be right. You know,
Yeah, you hard-headed ass motherfuckers.
I didn't say that.
I did. My sister's a Taurus. Y'all are smart as fuck and y'all are really good with money, but the hard-headedness, oh my God.
Yeah, so this is the year where they need to break past that. Next is Gemini. My husband's a Gemini. He's tough. My husband is tough, but he could be manipulative because he's so smart, you know? So he'll like to switch the narrative to make it feel good for him or what it looks like for him. So this is about truthful communication for you or nothing at all. And this is what it's saying for Gemini is you need to be truthful, but you need to use your discernment to see who's being truthful for you. There's no kind of walking around it thinking that, oh, well, maybe it was a little white lie. No, it's a fucking red flag. Get out. Okay. So conversations are going to be everything. It's going to start to show you these realizations, right? Again, the red flags that you didn't see before. You're going to actually ask questions. It's going to be important for you, Gemini, to ask questions, but to also be truthful. So if you are prepared to ask questions, then you need to be prepared to answer questions as well. That's, you know, we're human. We don't like to be questioned about anything, right? But we'll do all the questioning. Gemini is asking you, hey, if you can give it, you can take it too. Okay. And so your major theme to focus on this year is transparency. All right. Also being curious, not staying quiet, but emotional honesty.
Okay.
Cancer.
Oh, Cancer. Okay. My crybabies.
I'm not a crybaby. I can be, but I'm not. Cancer, your love theme is about emotional maturity. Okay. And it's also about your chosen family. This is a big theme because our chosen family, listen, we're born with the people we have in our lives. That sometimes it's unfortunate, right? Yes, it's karmic, whatever. We'll get into that another day. But when we choose family, Cancer, you're loyal to a fault. So when you choose your friends, you are loyal to a fault. And because of that, you self-sacrifice. Cancer this year is about not sacrificing yourself for love. It reminds you that relationships deepen without you having to overgive, right? And allowing yourself to receive. So this particular year is about building emotional, nourishing relationships with the people you chose to have around you. All right. So the focus is emotional safety, nurturing without losing yourself, and reciprocity, right? If I'm giving, I should be receiving, like having your hand out and saying, hey, I want this for me and I deserve this and I should be able to receive this. Leo, you're all about visibility this year and heart led romance. This is going to be a big love year for you. So those Leos who have been like, why haven't I found the right person? Why haven't I been able to keep relationships and keep commitments? This year is going to be playful for you. It's going to be expansive for you. It's going to allow you to be seen and expressive. You're going to be magnetic this year. So honestly, I want you to have fun with that. Don't get too caught up in what I'm saying. Oh my God, I'm going to find love. No, get caught up in I'm expressing myself. I feel playful. I feel fun. I feel magnetic. And that's when the big love is going to start to gravitate towards you because it's going to like your energy. So just being yourself and you'll see how much love is actually going to come in. This year's focus is going to be celebrating yourself. And you'll see the more that you celebrate yourself and your wins, the more admiration, mutual admiration is going to come in, the more passion is going to come in, the more playful energy is going to come in for you. Virgo. And so Leanne, are you ready?
I'm ready.
And I love that I'm having this conversation with you because your theme this year is going to be releasing control and it's going to be deepening trust. And the trust part is going to be about self-trust. Okay. So Perfectionism is going to be very, very soft this year. Love is going to expand the more you allow yourself to be vulnerable this year. And when I say that, I also mean, Virgo, to stop analyzing everything around you. As perfectionism starts to soften, so should your walls and your analytical mind. Okay. So remembering that relationships thrive when you feel safe as a human. And a lot of times, Virgos, I love ya, but you're always trying to fix something, make something perfect, make it work. It's got to be this way. This year teaches you that nothing has to be perfect, that everything thrives in its imperfection. Okay.
That's a word. That's a word. Catch it. What?
And so
Yes.
your focus this year is going to be on your emotional openness, on your self-trust, and on surrender. And I do want to talk about that a little more because I have you here, Leanne, so we can actually go back and forth here. The tail end of 2025, does it feel like you've already kind of been softening and becoming a little more vulnerable?
Yes, girl. Yes. I mean, there's a lot of energy around me. I'm going to say that. But I'm noticing that, like, the coldness, like the King of Swords in tarot, like, it's starting to soften just a little bit. But I say my wall is no longer up. I am guarded, but I feel like I'm taking one brick down at a time.
And that's exactly what it is. So remember, we spoke about Aries season. You'll start to feel the surrender even more, the softening even more come April for you, okay, Virgos? So just know that as long as you stay in that energy of emotional openness, the more you're going to trust yourself and the more you're going to surrender to what this year has entailed for you. So Virgo, it's going to be a big theme for you guys. Libra, this particular year is going to be about truth and valued alignment. Why is this important? It's important because Libra, you are so wishy-washy. You come in, you go in, I'm not sure. One day is no, it's over. The next day is no, but they said sorry. I love you, Libra, but okay. Like the scales, you can lean to one way and lean to the other, and there's a lot of imbalance there. So Venus is going to go retrograde, and it's going to bring some clarity into who you are in your partnerships because there's a lack of awareness there. That's why I talk about that wishy-washiness. So when you see that Venus goes retrograde, you're going to start to see, oh, I'm feeling like I wasn't being me. I was being too much like my partner or the people around me. And so love becomes less about harmony, which is who you are, Libra, and more about mutual respect. Okay. And that's the key, right? Balancing relationships are chosen, they're not forced. So stop forcing yourself into these relationships that are not serving you, or they're asking you to abandon who you are to be in this relationship. So your focus, and this is really important, Libra, your focus is self-worth at all costs. It is honest partnerships. It's aligned values. It is choosing yourself over anything else. Okay.
You heard that, Jackie? I see you in the comments, Jackie.
Scorpio. God, don't we love ourselves some Scorpios?
I mean, I'm a Scorpio rising, so I'm listening.
I'm a Scorpio rising too.
Are you?
Yes.
That's why I love you.
So this year is about intimacy without power struggles. Scorpio is so mysterious, so passionate, so private, and they love a challenge, which is why they are so interesting, right? They love that challenge. This year is asking you to release control and to deepen trust in others. You already trust yourself, Scorpio. That's why you're so private. Your problem is that you do not trust you feel like everyone's out to get you, and you don't realize that you're the one who's venomous. You're the one that can sting, right? And so love truly transforms when you allow transparency instead of testing loyalty. And I want to talk about that, Scorpio. You will test people and test people because you're going to put them into predicaments just to see if they're loyal to you. And that is your problem. I love you, Scorpio, but that's just call it what it is. That's why it's so hard to get through to you, because all you're doing is creating challenges for the people around you that you love because you don't trust them. And this year is about soul level connections. The more you do those challenges and that testing to others, the more they're going to see what you're about and they're going to go away. So we want you to be vulnerable. We want that to replace these games of intensity, which you think are fun and passionate, but what they are is not malicious, but you're digging for the truth when you could just be asking for it, right? You're snooping around and suspicious instead of saying, hey, you know what? You said something I didn't like. Let's have a conversation. So the focus for you, Scorpio, is emotional intimacy, okay? Not sex and passion, but that is going to take play, obviously. But
Don't be a whore.
you can be a whore. That's fine.
You can.
There's no judgment on this side.
I'm judging. No, I'm just...
But it's about emotional intimacy. It's about trusting people to be who they are, okay? And it's about empowerment, mature and mutual empowerment, right? Empowering someone instead of trying to break them down, Scorpio, because that's what you do, especially when you love them. When Scorpio, when you love someone, you love them so hard that you expect them to fuck up. This is about just asking the right questions, being vulnerable, saying, hey, I'm having trouble trusting you. Show me that I can trust you. Next is Sag. Is there any Sages in the building over here?
Josie.
Okay, so let me talk about Sages. Sages love their freedom. We know this.
Yes.
And especially Sag risings, okay?
Oh, no,
So,
wait, I didn't say Josie. Josie, you're not a fucking Sag. I'm thinking...
She's a Sag rising.
She's a Sag rising. I fucking knew it. I knew she had fire in her chart. Yes.
So for Sag to be comfortable or to feel good, they need freedom. They need commitment with freedom. And so you have to allow yourself to speak that to people, to the people around you. You have to be able to say, you know what? I love you and I want to be in this relationship, but I need to be independent. I need you to be a whole person because I'm a whole person. Together we connect. But then once you go that way and I go that way, I'm my own person. And so 2026 really supports relationships that grow alongside your expansion. Okay. So if you have the right partner, Sag, you're going to grow together. You're going to evolve together, and there's going to be a beautiful evolution in your relationship. And so this will be something where you're not fearing it or running away from it, but instead you're running towards it, Sag. And so this year's focus is shared visions and aligned growth, finding the person that is not intimidated by your power and your fiery energy, but instead is like, I like that. I'm my own person. Let's grow together. Let's do this together.
That's me. I fucking love a fire sign.
So, Capricorn, you know, I don't have any problems with Capricorns, but I guess because I'm a water sign and I'm very like, let's go with the flow. And Cap is my sister sign and they're very rigid and structured. And so it's triggering for me. But the love theme is about building something real for you. So this is a relationship defining year for you, just like Leo, because for you, it's important that love is practical and intentional and future focused. So when you drop down the guards, right, and you move away from perfectionism, your partnership will strengthen through responsibility that's shared. Okay. And through emotional presence and not just effort. So your focus needs to be long-term commitment. You can't just be having one nights. And I'm not judging you if you are, but 2026 for you is long-term relationships that have future goals, that are reliable and that are emotionally available for you. And so you want to stay away from people who are flaky fuckboys.
And fuck girls too, because y'all just as nasty.
Right. And so you want to stick with earth signs, Cap, and you want to stick with a fixed water sign. Aquarius. So the theme, there's no surprise here. Authentic connections over bullshit is really what that is. And that's all the time. So Aquarius, you're redefining what partnership means to you, right? So love thrives when you allow in being yourself, when you allow in freedom, when it's non-traditional and it's unconventional. Those types of relationships are what's going to be aligned for you. And a big theme here is not just romantic relationships. Aquarius, it seems like partnerships, collaborations, friendships, whatever relationships you have with your siblings, that is going to be what thrives for you this year. But remember, it's got to be non-traditional. And what I mean by that is it doesn't have to look like what everybody else's relationship looks like. And that's important for you to know, Aquarius, because you're not human. You're an alien. and because of that, you need your relationships to appear that way or to feel that way to you, right? It doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. It needs to make sense to you. So your focus is obviously authenticity. We love that for you. But it's also emotional independence, letting people be who the fuck they are, right? Letting their freak flag fly and you being okay because that's who they are, and loving that energy.
Yes. Pop that coochie girl.
And so Pisces is my last one. Your theme, and I love this as we figure out that, as knowing that this transit of Neptune finally going into Aries, this makes sense. So Pisces, dreamy Pisces, you live in La La Land. Let's just call it what it is, right? And this year is about ending fantasies, right? And choosing reality, which is really, really important because you had these romantic illusions for the past I'd say 5 to 7 years. You've had this illusion of what true love is. And every time it doesn't come up for you, you get really, really disappointed. And so this particular year is about ending those fantasies and seeing that relationships grow through boundaries, through honoring yourself and emotional clarity. And the reason why I say that is because for the last 7 years, you haven't been clear emotionally. So once Neptune enters Aries, it's almost going to be like the veil has lifted and you're awake now. No offense, Pisces. You haven't been awake for about 7 years. Okay. You've been in La La Land. And that's beautiful, right? Where we get this fantasy about what we think love is. But then the veil lifts and we actually see, oh shit, that wasn't realistic. That was me dreaming of things that weren't real. So this year favors grounded love over like crazy savior dynamics, right? Like the damsel in distress that you're dreaming of. This love could be, it's not that. So your focus this year is going to be discernment, right? Choosing the right partner for you and emotional clarity. So staying focused and staying clear on what you want emotionally, but also healthy boundaries, saying no when you mean no and saying yes when you mean yes.
Standing on motherfucking business, bitch. Okay? That's the energy that I definitely am embodying myself in 2026. As I was listening to you going through all of the signs, correct me if I'm wrong, but I really think the overall theme for everyone is just like softening, like being more, I don't know, maybe go with the flow kind of vibe.
So remember, when we talk about the horse year, we're talking about movement. So it is about surrender and softening and allowing the movement to take place.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I love this and I really hope that this gives, some insight to anyone who's listening. Of course, if you want something specific for you, if you're watching on Instagram, you can leave your question in the comments or the little question bubble underneath Jen. Um, or you can book a personal reading with Jen, and I'm going to leave all the information on how to work with her in the show notes. But one thing I wanted, now that we talked about love, okay, we love that. Great. Now, let's get to the fucking bag, babe. Okay, let's get to the recognition. I want to know, what's my bank account gonna look like in 2026? I don't want to focus only just on money. I also want you to talk a little bit about like who specifically sign wise is stepping into like expansion and abundance and like leveling up career wise, financially, all of that in 2026. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so big glow ups is going to be Cancer, Aries, Aquarius, and Leo. Leo is going to have a very fruitful year financially. Okay. So if you have it Aries in your sun, in your rising, in your moon sign, and if you have a Leo stellium, if Leo is heavy in your chart, no matter where it's at, just know that it's going to be a big year of expansion, especially when Jupiter moves into Leo. But I do want to say Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It brings in good things, but it's also the planet of excessive. So if you are one to overeat, overdrink, overshop, it's going to heighten. So you have to be careful with that expansion. So it can bring in money, but just as quickly as you're getting the money is just as quickly as you can get rid of it. So when we're talking about financial, like money in the bank, Leo, this is your year.
Damn it. Well, that's my daughter though.
It's coming for you soon, Virgo.
I know. I'm in the building stage. I'm like putting the foundation together because, like I said, 2025 was the year that almost fucking took me out, but we're going to talk about that another day. Continue.
All right. So, Aquarius, this is going to be a glow up as far as your identity, power moves, and influencing others. So, just know that Aquarius is, the revolutionary person, right? It's the humanitarian. It feels like this year you're going to really step into that energy of being that humanitarian. You're going to make power moves. You're going to be seen. You're going to be heard. And you're going to really influence a lot of people this year. So, getting to know yourself on a deeper level, that authentic expression, really, really just being you and embracing you is what's going to help you this year. Aries. So Aries is the sign of self. So I do want to say there's going to be a lot of planets in Aries, and the upgrade for you is going to be bold new beginnings. Because you've been so attached to the old patterns, the old ways, the old friendships, the old relationships, oh, this is who I've always been around or who I've always been with, that this is how I feel safe. 2026 for you is going to be like, you really are closing doors and stepping into this new version of you. And you're going to really, really embody who you are finally. So you've always been who you are, but this year feels like you're really going to step up as you. So that's going to be nice. For Cancer, it's going to be about emotional power and magnetism. So you're going to really grow emotionally. There's going to be this emotional maturity. And it's going to be a year that, because of your boundaries and your ability to say no and take no shit, people are going to start to gravitate towards you. They're going to want to learn from you. They're going to want to show them how you've grown or what you've done. So very much like that Aquarius energy, it's going to be where you're going to be showing others what you've done to get to where you're at. But with that said, everybody's going to have a glow up. All the signs are going to do well, but this is what's happening in 2026 for the rest of the signs is the inner work. 2027 for those other signs is going to be the external work.
Okay. Okay, period. Okay. I can give myself, I'm learning to slow the fuck down and practice patience because that is not my strong suit, right? Like I want the money and I want it now. It's my money and I need it now. You know, right? But like I said, I am learning to, like you said earlier, let go. Let fucking go of control. That is my vice because I'm so like, I need it to be this way. And then when one thing is out of order, it doesn't have to be a catastrophe anymore. So, confirmation. Thank you. Okay. So, everyone's going to get a glow up. Everyone's going to get to the bag, but you got to do the work, right? You need to put in the aligned action, right? You can't just manifest and woo woo and oh my god, don't fucking leave your house to find Prince Charming busting through your window at 3 a.m. That's not happening.
No, it's not real.
It's not real. But honestly, like I truly do feel a shift of energy overall for everyone. And this podcast is called Watch Us Thrive. We're all about healing and having conversations of how you've turned your pain into power. But there's also a lot of dark shit. There's also another relationship that I'm learning to fall in love with is the relationship with my shadow self, right? The part of the I don't want to say the ugly part, but the really deep dark version of me that nobody knows of but me, I am learning to walk alongside her instead of trying to push her back behind me and hide her from the world, right? So I want to know, and you can also talk about signs individually. Like, is there anyone in particular in 2026 that really needs to, I don't know if I should say be aware of their shadows or like sit in the darkness a little bit more? What's your take on the not so happy side of 2026?
Yeah. So I'm going to say that every sign needs to be very, very, use your discernment, right? Very, very protective of their shadow. And let's talk about the shadow really quickly, right? The dark parts that we don't like, that we bury, that we don't want people to see or to know. Those are a part of our story. They're not our story. And so it's okay for those dark parts to walk with you because they've showed you that you are resilient and you are powerful and that you can get through anything, right? And it also shows you, right? It's that duality. It shows you that you're also a good person and you deserve good things and that good things happen when you walk through the mud, walk through the dirt, when you're sitting in your shit. I want you to know that every sign is going to have to sit in their shit, no matter what. But this particular year, it does seem very much like Aquarius and Pisces is going to be in more in their shit than the other signs. And it's because they're still learning, right? They're still in that integration era versus the moving power forward. Okay. So those two signs, I would say, not that you're going to have a bad year because it's going to be a good year for everyone, but you need to integrate more. You need to allow your shadow to come walk with you, not behind you. It's side by side.
I definitely feel like that was me last year, and I'm still energetically in 2025. I'm still going through, especially when it comes to love and relationships and healing and all of that and trauma and blah 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 blah. But I'm learning to accept it and not live in that sense of shame when it comes to that side of me coming to the forefront because truthfully, it's when I'm fucking triggered. When I'm triggered and the old Leanne is like, whoa, I gotta come back outside. And it's like, nah, sis, like we had a lot of ego deaths. Like we're good. Like I got it. I got it. But it's like we always say, I'm healing, not healed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all of us.
I mean, that's just human fucking nature, right? Take astrology out of it. That's just you being a person living able bodied. Is there any particular times of the year in 2026 that we should be more aware of, especially when it comes to maybe some people getting on your nerves a little bit more, or like just, you talked about the Mercury retrogrades. That shit is crazy. So what's going on with that?
This year is going to be, again, like I said, less about the retrogrades are going to be less about miscommunication and more about your own personal healing and you focusing on yourself. But I really, let me just say, because I was talking about these transits, I want to just make sure that everybody understands that these transits are not make or break. What they're doing is showcasing you where you need to heal, right? It is insight and direction into this next version of you. Saturn moving into Aries is going to be big. It's going to be a big theme, but Uranus also in Gemini, because Uranus is about awakenings. It's about disruption. Okay. It's about authentic expression. So When Uranus goes into Gemini, you want to actually be very careful. Every sign. When this happens, communication is going to be a battleground for us. Okay, so you want to just make sure that when this happens, that you're going to hear it, right? Because everybody's watching astrology now. You're going to hear when this happens, and you're going to get scared. You don't have to be scared. You just have to be honest. That's why I had said in the beginning, and I don't, because we were recording and re-recording, but I had said in the beginning that this year's theme is about being honest with yourself. That's for everybody, because if you are not honest with yourself and you don't trust yourself, then you're not going to be able to be honest with others. And so, yes, this year is about slowing down and surrendering and going with the flow, but it's also a reminder that if you don't trust yourself and if you're not honest with yourself, then you're going to still be in stagnant energy and you're not going to move as quickly as you need to.
What would be your piece of advice, just in general, not sign by sign, when it comes to someone building up that self-trust muscle? What can they do, in your opinion, in order to trust themselves a little bit more?
So I find that self-trust has to do with our nervous system. I find that it's deeply rooted in inner child wounds. And so somatic healing is incredible. And you don't even need to go to a practitioner to do it. You can do it in the comfort of your own home, where you are tapping out the areas of your body that need to be awakened. We carry trauma in our lower belly, in our hips, and in the pelvic area. And so just lightly tapping, and I'm going to show you here so everybody can see, just lightly tapping the area down there, the hips, the lower back, underneath the belly button, lightly tapping, bouncing up and down, jumping up and down, and just kind of moving the energy out of your body. Believe it or not, it sounds silly, but once you start to do it, you'll start to say, oh, okay, I have some trauma. There's something changing in my body. The more that you move your body, the more you're moving that energy out of your body, the more you're going to start to trust your body. Also, the more you move your body, you're going to notice changes in your body, right? Whether you lose weight or you gain muscle, or there's some definition in areas that weren't there before. And then you're going to start to love on your body a little more. And just doing that alone is going to help you.
It's going to completely change your mindset.
Yep.
1000%. And I even noticed that, last year, before my whole dark night of the soul year that happened, I was going consistently to yoga with you, 6:15 a.m. on a motherfucking Saturday, bitch. I was doing it, right? And I felt like the baddest bitch in the world, because it's like, yo, I'm literally getting back in tune with self. I'm learning what it is to listen to my body and get out of my fucking head.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just, and to piggyback off of what you said, I think another way to, besides, yes, ditto to everything that Jen said, but also practicing what you preach and keeping your promise to yourself. Like, if you, bitch, I'm talking to you. You said you was gonna stop buying McDonald's on January 1st. It is. We are recording on January 12th. How many times you went to McDonald's?
Or you also said you was going to go to the gym on Monday and you didn't go.
That was me, but I was sick, okay? I was fucking sick, okay? And then my daughter was sick. I'm going back on Monday, I promise, because now she got her period. So whatever. But you get what I'm saying. You're picking up what we're putting down. Like, literally, if you said, and it doesn't have to be like Rome was not built in a fucking day, bitch. Go take a walk once a week. Every Monday, you're taking a 30-minute walk. And then you can start, like that book, Atomic Habits, small little things, step by step. And then you're going to just notice, not even you, the people around you, the people who are coming towards you, the people who are leaving you. That's what it's all about. That's growth. That's healing. Who wants to stay stagnant? Complacency is the fucking devil. You know what I mean?
It is.
It is. And you don't want to be having this conversation like, damn, 2027 is about to be my year, babe.
That's us every year. When we don't make these changes and we don't do these things every year, it's like, oh, but this year's going to be my year. Oh, but this year's going to be my year. The year's only going to be yours when you start. And you don't have to start on a Monday. You can start right now. You can get off this and say, you know what? I'm going to start right now.
Right now. The only person who's getting in your way is you.
Yep.
But that's another conversation for another day. I did get a question, which is very interesting. The self love coach in me was so triggered when I saw this question, but I'm going to let you answer it. I'm not going to put the person out there, but they said, and it is a woman, I would like to know if me and my ex will get back together this year.
So I'm going to, what's their sign?
I don't know if they're still here. Ma'am, who left the question, if you're still in the chat, let me know, what is your sun sign? Do you want sun, moon, and rising, or just the sun?
Yeah, you can give me all three. That's great. I do want to say that if the breakup was in 2025,
She's a Cancer.
it's a Cancer, and you're coming into 2026 and you're still not with your partner, then there's a big theme on where you need to do work, right? And so this could be that you are Cancer. You're so focused on the other person that you're not realizing that you need to do the inner work. And in order for the relationship to work and for you guys to get back together, there has to be some type of sovereignty. So you have to know what your boundaries are. You have to know what you want. You have to be emotionally clear, but so does your partner. And then you can get together. Now, once you start loving on you, remember I said it's a year of loving on you. Once you start to love on you, Cancer, you'll start to see that either that person's for you or there's someone totally different for you. I am not, and I will say this out loud on both platforms, I'm not a fan of predictions in that way, because you might find the love of your life in someone else, and they might have all the attributes of your ex. It's hard to tell when we're talking astrology, because it could be the same sign, the same build, the same look, all the same qualities, but this person's a little more emotionally mature versus the person you were with. Yeah.
She said that he's a Leo, if you wanted to know.
Yeah. Fire signs.
She's a Cancer, he's a Leo.
Yeah. I think that you need to work on yourself. I think that it's important that you work on yourself, Cancer. This is a year of emotional maturity for you. The focus for you, Cancer, is you. And Leo's going to have a big year. So because Leo's going to have a big year, especially in the summer months, you might not even be calibrating on this. You're not vibrating on the same frequency, but it's hard to say. But for more clarity, you can hit me for a tarot reading.
Book a personal and take what resonates, leave what does not. I love everything that she said, but I'm going to say it to you, sis. There's a fucking reason y'all not together.
I wasn't going to say that.
I said it.
But I will say that things that ended in 2025, that's where they're going to stay.
Don't put a square peg in a circle hole, or the opposite way. You know what I mean? Don't try to make something fit that's not supposed to be, because that's how we create our own suffering. That's how we hold on to the potential. We focus on what it was and not accepting it for what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to just let the fucking horse die and stay right there. You ain't got to drag the carcass with you.
You know, the thing is too, is that we weren't built like that.
No.
We're built on these attachments, being attached to these things. Why? Because we were never taught that we are whole just as we are, right? And another thing that I had mentioned too is that you have to be your one person, your partner has to be one person, and then together you have a shared connection. I don't know where or why, what came up for us was we're nobody unless we have a partner. You know, we don't mean anything. No, you mean everything by yourself. You don't just bring something to the table. You are the table. And once we start to realize that we are the table, then we're not going to accept crumbs. We're not accepting you to come here and just bring me, oh, that's all you brought me? No, I brought it. I'm the table.
Bitch. The fuck is you talking about?
What you bring, you better be the house.
Motherfucker. The fuck? That's the energy that I want everyone. Not even, thank you for your question. And if anyone else before I asked her the last question and she shares how you can work with her. Drop it in the comments or put in the little chat bubble. That is the energy that everyone, that should be the standard for anybody. Whether you're he, she, they, them, I don't give a fuck what you like.
Yes.
You need to know who the fuck you are. And if you don't, start doing the work in order for you to learn that. Lean on your support system that everyone has, and just know that, like, you don't need to settle for what you're used to. You don't need to have the mindset of like, it's better for the devil that I know than the devil that I don't. Because we're so afraid of change. We're so afraid of being alone.
I hate when I hear it. It really, really bothers me because it's like, okay, no. Why do you have to know a devil at all? You know what I mean? Like, why do you choose that over anything? Like, no, how about I'd rather be alone? I could do bad by myself.
Okay? Tyler Perry made a whole fucking movie about it, okay? And that movie was triggering as fuck. That movie was triggering as fuck for me. But it was great. I love this. And thank you again to my sister girl who left the comment. Again, if you want to book a personal reading, I'm going to leave all the information in the show notes on how you can work with Jen. Overall, last message, closing wisdom. What's one piece of advice, or maybe, give us your top 3. Spit fire, right? Advice that everyone should carry into 2026, no matter what their sign is.
Alignment over attachment. I'm going to start there. Choose alignment over attachment. If something requires you to abandon yourself, that shit ain't for you. Okay? It is not for you. What is aligned for you is not going to ask you to abandon who you are or to ask you to be something that you're not. It's not going to allow you to over please, right? To self-sacrifice. It's going to just want you to be you in all your glory.
Yeah.
Another piece of advice for every sign is I want you to honor your nervous system. Okay? I want you to honor your truth. I want you to honor your boundaries. The more that you say no when you mean no, and yes when you mean yes, and you do what you say you're going to do, and you're committed to yourself, the more the right people will come along. The more you'll find people in alignment with you. But you have to start saying no. You have to start speaking your truth. You have to start honoring who the fuck you are. Because you are everything. And if people aren't honoring you the way you honor you, they gotta go. Period.
That's it.
My last thing is, this is not a year to rush. And you said that, Leanne. You were like, I'm not rushing.
Confirmation.
I want,
God damn it. No.
Yeah, I want everyone to know
it's the year of the horse. What do you mean, Jen?
To slow down.
Okay.
But what the horse does is it carries you to your destination.
Okay. Got it.
So it's not that you're pulling the horse. It's not a chariot. You're on top of the horse and the horse is moving. When it moves, it can move quickly or it can move slowly, but it's not if it depends on how you hit it, right? If you're in a rush, you're going to hit it fast. Slow down. Okay. Enjoy the ride, because every time we try to rush to get to the destination, what happens? We miss out on all of the lessons on the way there. And then now we're rushing to get to the next destination because this one's not enough.
All right. What happened? Fuck my fucking tea. God damn it.
So really, this is a year about you choosing you consciously. Okay.
I could literally talk to you all day, every day, 24/7 about this. Jen is going to be a repeat guest on the show. I definitely want to have you back to learn more about you and the Jen before, the spiritual baddie and all of that. But I want you to share, one, how people can work with you. Of course, we're going to put everything in the show notes, but what you got cooking up, sis? What the spiritual baddie got cooking up in 2026?
So I do have a couple things that I'm cooking up. I'm about to kick off my 5th round of the Spiritual Baddie boot camp. It is a 6-month container, and we go to Puerto Rico on retreat. So that particular program is about learning how to heal, how to love yourself, and taking the steps you need to discover who you really are. You also, learn healing modalities, and it's a lot of fun. It's not boring. Nothing I do is boring ever. And then I have my retreat to Bali. It is the Spiritual Baddie Bali experience. That's going to be in September, but I will be launching that to the public probably in a week or so. I'm really, really excited about that. And there's early bird pricing. That pricing is going to go up February 6th. So by the time you hear this, the pricing's up.
Yesterday's price is not today's price, bitch. Okay. And when is that retreat happening?
That retreat is September 21st to September 29th.
And whose birthday is September 21st, bitch?
It is your birthday, boo.
I am manifesting getting some goddamn money in 2026 so I can book that flight and go.
We're going to
Jen, if y'all on Instagram have ever been to a retreat or just even a workshop or an event or an Instagram live with Jen, you already know the healing that is going to come with just being in her presence. Jen, I love you so much. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I cannot wait to have you back on the show. And y'all, remember, if you don't remember anything else from this conversation, I need you to remember it's all about loving yourself and putting yourself first and just say no to the fuck shit, man.
Say no to the fuck shit. And remember who the fuck you are. Remember who the fuck you are. Because you, like I said, you're the table. Okay? You're not just bringing the shit. You are it.
No more crumbs, bitch.
No more crumbs.
I love you, Jen. Thank you, guys.
Love you. Bye.